Just got out of the Radisson Convention Center where we had the FDOT open house meeting to discuss A1A redesign, redevelopment with the roundabout, the modern roundabout, and the southern end of A1A. For those of you that are paying attention, you know that the roundabout has engineering funding and construction funding, and right away it's, I think, roughly $15–16 million. And then the southern end still needs to get funding. So the roundabout has been what's on people's minds. We've seen a lot of pushback. We've seen people that's open to it. I want to tell you what I heard tonight. So some of the main concerns are traffic congestion. The congestion, it's going to back up, it's going to slow people down, and this is also going to create more pressure on the other north and south streets like North Atlantic, Poinsettia, Orange, Magnolia, and Ridgewood Avenue, because the locals will avoid the roundabout and they will go to those streets. The counter argument that I heard to that was that actually, yes, people are moving slower, but more cars are getting through. So when you're driving closer together, slower, you're still getting more traffic through. That's the counter argument. So if we're getting 30,000 cars a day through here going 40–45 miles an hour, they're spaced further apart. When you slow it down, people are more comfortable driving closer, and you end up getting, say, 40–50,000 cars through here a day. The other arguments that I heard was, why aren't we seeing another alternative? So a four-way intersection is what I think we wanted. We wanted to realign International Drive and have a traditional red light four-way stop right there. This was compared at a preliminary level, cost comparison, and other economic drivers, safety, but I haven't seen a detailed comparison, and that's something that we want. This, when I spoke to Space Coast Transportation team there and our city manager, this is something I think we're actually going to be able to look at and get. They are open to holding another community open house. They collected comment cards tonight, and I think that that's what a lot of the citizens want to see. I want to explain why the roundabout got through funding for construction and right away, and then they engaged the public, because that was a concern, was why wasn't the public engaged before this? We get a bit of anxiety that it's funded and it's go, go, go. This project's further down the line and our voice doesn't matter. And that's not what I got tonight. I got the feeling and the impression from what I'm talking is they will hold another gathering, and my goal is to really take a closer look at what a four-way stop looks like, compare them both, and this will give citizens more time, if they're interested in the roundabout, to understand it, to agree with it. But statute, the rules, the laws, if you will, this is very important. The way we got here was because the roundabout was has a set of criteria, and I think by statute it's required to pursue a roundabout first. So they go down, they look at the intersection where a four-way stop is, but first they try to see if a roundabout's possible. This particular intersection, a roundabout was possible. And so I saw a lot of enthusiasm that, wow, for one of the first times, we can actually have a roundabout. And so at that point, funding was obtained, and the staff really never went back and I think said, well, let's go ahead and present another option. So they've got the roundabout criteria satisfied. They've got the funding. Now they're holding the workshop. And I think today we saw people who were concerned. My goal is that, like I said, we're able to look at that four-way intersection and do what the citizens of Cape Canaveral want. I think the two parties are, I'm for the roundabout. I'm obviously against the roundabout. Those are the two parties. I didn't say I was for or against. Today, my position is I'm not convinced that a roundabout is the best option. I think that we should see another alternative, and I want to hear your thoughts about what you think. Concerns, other ones, just to rattle off a few, were more, it's actually going to result in more deaths. and the different points where accidents are likely to happen compared to a four-way stop are shown in some of the handouts that were provided by FDOT. What I want to see is, instead of looking at that design or graphic, if you will, on the different collision points, let's look at real data. So I requested from FDOT, there's 20 roundabouts in the state of Florida on state roads. I was able to obtain the 2 that were the closest to the proposed roundabout here in Cape Canaveral. And one was in Sarasota, and the other one was actually on A1A. I forget where it was. But that data is going to be very telling. I want to see, was a four-way intersection put in there prior? If so, what was the conditions, and what was the accident reports there? And then how did that change with the roundabout? I think that'll be very telling. We've got a lot of questions. This is a community effort, and my biggest statement to the public is, don't stop voicing your opinion, but also don't stop learning. If we come in with a closed mind and say absolutely not, I think that it's going to just make it more difficult. If you're against it, bring the facts, bring the data, and let's come to a well-informed decision. I want to thank you all very much for all of you who's given us comments and say, I want to do what's best for the citizens of Cape Canaveral. This has not been a vote that the council's taken up. In fact, the council submitted a resolution to Tallahassee, to FDOT, that had really 10 items in it, and roundabout was not one of them. 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, realigning International Drive, safer bike and walk lanes, and then a few others. And that's really where we are. So thank y'all so much. You'll go and see there's certainly more comments, like where you're going to U-turn, where certain neighborhoods can exit, how this is going to impact businesses during the construction phase, how it's going to impact businesses after. And I think those are all valid questions. So keep it coming. I'm still compiling a comprehensive list. They're going to take these comment cards and send them out, or go through them and try to grasp what the overall outcome is. I am hoping that I can get my hands on that report from the comment card, see what the questions are, see what the concerns are, so we can take the next step in this A1A development journey. Here's the news. A1A is the most dangerous road, if not in the state. Florida's got one of the more dangerous pedestrian safety areas in the country. I think they were ranked #1, and Brevard County is in the top 5 for sure. So we have to do something. The 2018 Cape Canaveral survey showed that A1A safety was a top issue. It was brought up more than anything else. I think we all agree that we need to do something here. And whether it is a four-way intersection or a roundabout, that's where we are today. So let's not get ourselves in a situation where we can't agree on anything. Let's try to figure out a plan that makes sense. And the way we do that is to slow down, make the right decision. Like Abraham Lincoln said, I may walk slow, but I never take a step backwards. That's what we need to do as a community.